How's it going, garden people? Welcome to the Hidden Gardens. So it's the very beginning of August here in my Zone 7 garden, and the weeds have absolutely overtook the front garden areas. So I ran down to the garden center and I picked up a couple of ground covers, some of which I saw at the fair recently. I'll link that video below. I definitely got a couple of good ideas for plants, and I did find a few when I was at the nursery. So I was happy to get that done, and that kind of gave me a little bit more motivation to really get out into my garden and get rid of all of these weeds and just like wage a full-on assault attack on the weeds that have taken over the whole front garden areas. I actually came away with quite a few more plants than I had planned to because the nursery was so stocked and there was just so many pretty beautiful things blooming right now. So August is a pretty good time to go shopping at your local nurseries and check out what they have, because they were jam-packed and there was a lot of good stuff there. Now, a few channel notes. I know that a lot of YouTube creators, they use a microphone and they go and they do talk as you go type gardening, and that's something that eventually I would work on and could do. I do want to kind of grow my channel and make it more into more of a viable business, as it does help to kind of supplement my anthropological explorations and book that I'm writing and such. But also it's a great way for me to keep an eye on what plants I've planted, when I've planted them, what those plants are, that type of thing. It really does work as a good personal video log. And while I could keep it private, I prefer to share it all to the public, to you all, in the hopes that it'll hopefully inspire you all to get out into your garden or continue along on your gardening journeys, whatever those look like for you, specifically because I'm only one person. So this whole garden is all just me. I'm the one out there planting. I'm the one out there weeding. I'm the one watering. Everything that gets done in these gardens gets done by me. And I'm hoping that by sharing my garden and all the things that I do and all the messiness, as you can see, that it'll help inspire you to go, okay, well, I'm one person, I'm one human, but look at all the things that you can get accomplished and that you can do out in your garden or life or whatever fun thing that you like to do. So I hope that these videos inspire you. And one of the ways that you can help support not just me, but pretty much every creator that you watch on YouTube is, first of all, so easily you can just watch their video all the way through. If there's ads, if you don't pay for, YouTube Premium or whatever, if the ads aren't too long and stuff, all of those things help support the creators when you watch them, especially liking their videos and sharing their videos. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, especially to support those creators on YouTube that you really like watching, because really that's the best way to support them. Comment on their videos and do all the things. And as for me, I do hope to try and grow my channel eventually. Now, as it stands right now, I'm just not that big enough to really start expanding and doing things like buying microphones and video editing programs and such like that. I would rather spend my money on the plants that you just saw me buying at the nursery. But eventually I would be more than willing to put more and more work and more effort into the YouTube community if that's something that you all are interested in seeing. But my main goal is hopefully to just inspire you to get out there and get things done. And as you can see, the garden was a complete and utter mess, and it was definitely time to bring in the reinforcements by way of the weed whacker and take care of some of the really tall stuff, and then really get down in there and start pulling and clearing the place out. And as you can see, I just started really kind of going after it and really did a great job of getting all of the weeds that I could out of the way and away from the plants. I did a little bit of cutback. I started over here in the side front yard here. This is the shed area and I've done a lot of these things in videos, so if you want to look back in the videos, you'll see, you know, what I've planted, where I planted them, what's made it, what hasn't. But as you can see, this hydrangea needed a little bit of cutback because it was just flopping on the ground here. This is a fairly new hydrangea that I planted. It's Gatsby Moon. So this one will get really kind of big. So these little blooms that I'm cutting off, really not too big of a deal. As well as the salvia, I cut back, and I cut back the silver mound artemisia here. I cut that back a little bit too. So basically I came through and I got a lot of weeding done and a little bit of cutbacks, and I really was able to clean everything up, and I can't even begin to tell you how much better I felt getting just the little bits that I got done achieved. It really went a long way for making me feel better about my garden, and being able to see the plants, and especially because now that I can see what spots I have in the garden and stuff, now I can get back to the fun part of planting things. And I have to say, it just looks so much better. So I was able to get some mulch down here, and that'll help prevent the weeds from coming back, as well as keep in some of the moisture, which helps with the watering situation. I did move the pots that are in front of the shed here because those were quite weedy, the grasses, and I'm going to replace them. I'm not sure with what, whether I do more grasses or maybe a fall container, we'll see. So this battle lasted about 2 days for this little side front garden area. As you can see, the end of the first day I got to about here. Underneath the pathways, I took paper bags and suppressed the weeds that way by putting the paper bags down and then putting the mulch down. But in between the plants themselves, it was a lot harder to try and do that. So that's where I really started just going inch by inch, step by step, and really pulling the weeds out. And then this is the next day, and I've started the progress to continue again. And I just kept going, and I just kept working at it. This hydrangea, by the way, is absolutely stunning. Berry white panicle hydrangea, and absolutely beautiful. The mulch that I'm using is a pine spruce mix, really just a natural pine spruce, and really to help kind of improve the soil underneath. And then what I'll also do once I'm done weeding the whole front garden and mulching over the whole front garden, I'm gonna come back with compost, and I'm gonna put the compost around each plant so that it'll really kind of help feed the soil and put back some of these nutrients that I'm taking out by hand pulling a bunch of the weeds. And as you can see, by the end of the second day, I was able to get this whole front side garden area all weeded out and all mulched over. I did leave a few weeds still in the cut flower section there that I was able to get the next day, but for the most part, everything all along this area is set and done. Like I said, I'll still have to come back in with the compost. And I did leave the yarrow, I believe it's yarrow, all throughout there as well, and just, put some more mulch kind of on top of it and around it. So I'm really just so super pleased to have gotten this accomplished. It really, really went a long way to making me feel so much better about the garden. Like, I feel like I can kind of breathe again. It just, not only were the weeds smothering the plants, but they were smothering my my want and need to get out here and build this area up more. So we'll go with a little bit more of a hydrangea tour now that we can see them. And this one right here is the strawberry sundae. Now, except for the oak leaf hydrangeas, Gatsby Moon in front of the shed and Gatsby Pink right to the right here, all the rest of these are all panicle hydrangeas. And strawberry sundae gets about 4 to 5 feet tall and about 3 to 4 feet wide. Next up is Little Lime Punch, and that one gets about 3 to 5 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide, hardy down to zone 3 up to zone 9, and that will get some really, really pretty like punch color as the season continues and the nights get cooler. And there's one of the salvia that might not make it, but we'll see. And here is another strawberry sundae right here. So strawberry sundae, little lime punch, and another strawberry sundae, all getting to about 5 feet tall. The height is kind of important for these as well, because behind it, as you can see to the left there, is the blue hollies. I have a mix of the castle spire, and then one of the pollinators, I have castle wall back there. And those get about 10 feet tall to about 4 feet wide. So I still want some sun to kind of get behind there so that those still get some room to grow and that they get the beautiful red berries in the winter. And then next up is Limelight Prime. That one gets about 4 to 6 feet tall and about 4 to 5 feet wide. And as we progress closer to the shed, the hydrangeas start to get taller. Next up, we have Firelight Tidbit, and that one only gets about 2 to 3 feet tall and about 3 feet wide, and that's kind of like the little end capper here, where the castle, the blue hollies, start to end behind it, and then it gets up into the taller hydrangeas off now to the left and behind it, as well as the abelias that I planted as well, and some salvias. That one is catmint, the Blue Wonder catmint. That's looking a little rough, but we'll see if it comes back. And the Totally Stoked asters, the white one as well. So this butterfly bush is the new mop one by Proven Winners. So we'll kind of see how those plants do now that they're not being smothered by the weeds. And this hydrangea, let's see, I had to find the tag for it. And again, that's where having a video log of where these plants are and what they are really helps, because these tags are hard to read even not on camera. So this one is a quick fire fab, and it gets about 6 to 8 feet tall, 5 to 6 feet wide, hardy down to zone 3 up to zone 8. And I'm really looking forward to the dark coloring that this one will get as well. And of course the berry white panicle hydrangea, which is absolutely stunning right now as it is. So I cannot wait till it gets a little bit more deeper, darker pink coloring, and the height gets about 6 to 7 feet tall, 4 to 5 feet wide. Again, same hardiness, 3 to 8. So I'm super excited to kind of see these fill in and what they're gonna do. Such a pretty plant. I'm really enjoying that. Now I did cut the bottoms down a little bit, and I'll probably limb them up just a tad as I go along as they get bigger. But for now, things are really kind of shaping up over here. All of these were planted fairly recently. That blue evergreen right there, I cannot remember the name of it, so I will have to go back and look in a video at some point. Maybe I can put it on the text on the screen. But I do have a little cap there so that I, don't get poked in the eye by the stake that's kind of helping to stake it up. But this last hydrangea is a Pinky Winky Prime, and that one will get about 6 to 9 feet tall and about 6 to 9 feet wide. Hardiness 3 to 9. So again, we'll keep an eye on the shaping for it, as far as limbing them up where needed, and hopefully things will fill in and get full enough that I won't need to do too much of that, but just enough that things will, be full and nice, and I won't have to worry about weeds more in the future. And that sedum, I believe, is Firecracker, and hopefully it'll pull through. It was looking a little rough, but I think it'll be okay. We'll see. But again, just super excited to have this area cleaned up and situated. I can't wait for all of these hydrangeas to kind of fill up and fill in. And I'll go over the cut flower section a little bit. Right here to the right is a flamethrower redbud. I think I'm going to plant this here. I'm not completely positive yet, which is why it's still sitting in its can. It's looking a little worse for wear as far as the heat. I have been keeping it watered, but I keep going back and forth as to whether I want to keep it here or not. One minute I do, and then the next minute I don't, and that's kind of the benefit of keeping things in pots instead of just planting them right away. Sometimes you got to kind of sit on it, and that's what I'm doing with that plant right there. And as far as the cut flower section goes, I did have the intention of maybe making a bunch of bouquets and selling them out of the shop down that I have a little garden shop here that I sell out of, but I didn't get to it. And honestly, that was also a discovery, an exploration in itself. Cut flower farming is like a whole nother giant in itself, and props to all those flower farmers out there, because it is like a whole nother situation all alone in itself, and a whole big garden avenue to follow and garden path. That's a great path, and it's fantastic and fun, but for me, in my small garden, it's just right now at this time, it's just a little bit too much than I can chew. So I really do enjoy seeing the cut flowers and enjoying them, but I don't really much like arranging them or having to get to them. And as you can see, the bunnies kind of got to a lot of the snapdragons as well. So these straw flowers were amazing, and the status was amazing, and I still have to get a little bit of those weeds, but for the most part, I think that I'm just going to stick to growing the cut flowers and not so much worrying about selling the bouquets or cut flowers, and just kind of enjoying the beautiful blooms. So I hope that this video has inspired you to continue along on your gardening journey, whatever that looks like for you, and thank you for coming along on mine.